What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Wednesday. It is July 10th, and we are back with another video. Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. New, subscribe. Hit the bell notification because we have giveaways every single day. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We go through everything. That's why you've seen the length of the videos a little bit longer. We go through every game, all the pitchers, all of the batters that we like. So, that being said, we have 2 giveaways every single day. The first one to win, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on the video, preferably a positive comment, and you have a chance to win a free week if this video gets at least 50 likes. 100 likes is a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a chance at a free $200 a year. 200 or more likes on a video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Another way to win a lifetime pass, once we hit that 10,000 YouTube subscriber mark, we are going to give you a lifetime, someone's going to win a lifetime pass. The second way to win, somewhere in this video, we are going to have a keyword. All you got to do is listen for that keyword, type it in, and that is it. So, like I said, positive comments are obviously enjoyable, more enjoyable, I should say, but the first rendition of the pin of shame is now here. Danny Boy. Danny Boy. If anyone wants to see the pin of shame, go to yesterday's video and look at it. His only response is horrible picks. Danny, I don't know if you're listening. If you're not, let's see if you're still listening. Danny, they weren't picks. We went through the slate. We broke the slate down, okay? We broke the slate down. I didn't give you 5 picks. That was a different channel that steered you in the wrong direction. That is the difference between us, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, and those guys. They give you 5 picks for the day. Let's say 3 of the 5 don't work out. That is when you go to their video and say, horrible picks. We break the slate down. You want to see picks? I've got cheat sheets. I've got it all on the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Check it out, Danny Boy. Welcome to the pin of shame. You were the first. You won't be the last. Congratulations. So, that being said, let's get back on track before we go crazy. We're going to see who the 2 winners of yesterday's videos are. So the first one is going to be because we got a minimum of 50 likes. And we actually got, let's see. We got 83 likes on the video. So we're going to, even if the keyword is in here, we're still just going to do this first. Now, it would be funny if the pin of shame is the keyword. Alabama Jones, almost 700 views, 55 comments. I factor that if only 30% of that liked the video, we could get that lifetime pass for him. Yes, a lot of views, not as many likes. It's whatever. But if you watch this video and you find it just an inch, an ounce, and scoonts enjoyable, click that like button. But congratulations, Alabama Jones. Email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will get you set up for that free week. And don't fret, because you have a chance to win. Because again, yesterday's video keyword was factor, and that was in there. So you have a chance to win if this re-rolls it right here. So we are going to re-roll it, see who the free week for using the keyword is. CNO Forever. Congratulations. Let me know, email me or message or hit me up on the Discord and let me know the username again, and we will get you set up. CNO has won multiple times, and that's what you guys can do. You can win multiple times. All you got to do, come back, leave a comment, check out the video. It's that simple. It's that easy. So now, we had a couple of games yesterday get postponed, and they were postponed to today. So we have a ton on the slate. DraftKings has actually built out the slate here. You have 2 different ones, early ones that we will look at. You have the afternoon ones that are the turbo one, not afternoon, but 20 minutes before main slate with some weather concerns in there. Same. I think this is the same system that postponed the Minnesota game and the the Cardinals game as well. So definitely one to look at there. So what we're going to do is, if you've never been here, we're going to go through this entire everything today. If you need an abbreviated version and you want to see the article, click the link in the description. There's also a link in the description down below that you can check out. That is our Discord. But the third and the best and most important link is the Outlier.Bet link. They are our exclusive sponsor through the rest of the MLB season and hopefully through the entire NFL season. We're going to bring the fire to you guys every single week for the NFL season. So for the first 8 weeks of the NFL season, or give or take, so I should be off on paternity leave. I should have so much time, as long as the baby is sleeping, have time to bring you guys some great content, some rankings for the week, some DFS, some matchups. We're going to break down the matchups. We're going to bring it to you. All of this content is normally a pay behind the paywall content of other sites. I'm not going to say names. We bring it to you on here. We do have paywall on the website, but we bring you a ton of information here. So if you want to check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. The NFL tab is here. If you guys want to go peruse the NFL tab and tell me what you guys would like to see in the season, upcoming season, let me know. I'm also thinking about doing a league on Fanduel, or DraftKings or Fanduel each week. Do a weekly league where it's like $5 a week. Everyone gets in there weekly, and like top 3 get paid. I'm also thinking about doing, if there's enough interest, a best ball league as well. So if you guys are interested in that, or you're very excited for NFL, leave a like down below. But we are going to talk about Outlier.Bet. Now, I love Outlier.Bet, not only because they're the sponsor, but because they have been helping us make great decisions, whether or not it's in DFS, whether or not it's in sports betting. They give you what we need. So on the website, basically, it's like 5 websites combined. It's got the over-unders. It's got the prop bets. It's got the different popular bet. So if we look at this real quick, this is just like one of the FanDuel trending parlays. So they bring trending parlays from all the other sites. You can see that. Then they show you which sports betting sites give you the best odds for said parlays. Then you can either sign up for an account, or if you already have an account, you can build it through there. And we love that. So there's different markets. Obviously MLB and WNBA are what's going on right now. Once NFL comes, that market will be there. So let's just, for instance, we see the FanDuel trending parlay, Willson Contreras over 1.5 bases. Okay, that's the first game, not the second. So let's say that's a good one. Let's click into it. So you can click into the market. You can look at his last 5 games. Obviously come off the IL, so it hasn't been back a ton. But you can look at his last 5, last 10, last 20. Head-to-head in this matchup here, you can see it goes down. Plate appearances, hits, extra base hits. You can even look at how the opposing pitcher has done. You can look at the batter stats per each team broken down. You can look at insights. You can look at key matchups, his splits right here. That is what we're looking for. You want BABIP. You want isolated power. You want extra base hit percentage. You want to look at Alec Marsh versus right-handed pitching. You see that Alec Marsh has a 6.34 in 144 batters faced, 6.34 ERA, 271 BA, and 527 slugging, along with 42.9% extra base hit percent. So it's got so much that you can look at. You can break it down by his pitching arsenal. You can look at the batter per the pitching arsenal as well. You can look at the heat maps. They've got it all. It is wild what they have, okay? Everything is there, and they are exclusive sponsors. So if you sign up right now with the link down below, and you go through the 7-day free trial, and you go through the 7-day free trial, and you get the paid subscription. I think it's $29.99 for a regular month. If you guys sign up using our link and go through that first month, email me your username, and we will give you a free month of FTA Plus on top of this. If you sign up, go through the 7 days, and you go through their Pro, which I believe is $129.99 for the month, we are going to give you a free year of FTA Plus. That is saving $70. Normally our yearly price is $199. So you could save $70, get that for the month, and get us for a year. Check it out. Bring home the bacon with us. Bring home the bacon with Outlier.Bet. So that being said, we have a 2-game early slate. We've got Alec Marsh versus Payante, and we just looked at what Alec Marsh did, and we can see what they've got. So he's never faced the Cardinals before, but you broke it down. You can see what they've got there. So Marsh, we look at Alec Marsh here, 7,600, 457 ERA, 521 away on the road. Has never faced them before. The problem is coming off a terrible game against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's offense is not as good as St. Louis's offense has been. He had a good game against Cleveland and then some bad games mixed in. I would be looking at St. Louis bats here. I do not trust Alec Marsh enough. To be honest with you, if you don't know what we do, I'm not like giving you these 5 plays. If you want to see those, we've got some of those in the article. We also have a cheat sheet. We have everything else under the MLB tab. You've got player projections, simulations, stuff like that. We are going to go over the top 10 batters after 10,000 simulations as well towards the end of this video. But that being said, this early slate is okay. If we just want to glance over the early slate, I would be looking at Bailey Ober versus the White Sox. I would be looking at Eric Fetty a little bit too. So we had both of those pitchers wanting to go yesterday, then they didn't go. Those would be the 2 pitchers that I'd look at. Then I would focus on the bats between St. Louis and Kansas City bats. Depending on the lineup that comes out there, St. Louis, Wilson Contreras, Alec Burleson, Dylan Carlson, those would be the ones I'd look at. If we look at Kansas City bats, it's Bobby Witt Jr., it's Sal Perez, it's Vinny Pasquantino. It's a cheap option would be Michael Massey there. So in this early slate, Ober and Fetty, I love. Payante and Marsh. Again, if you want to get creative, you can throw them in there. Really, nothing is wrong with that early on. It really just depends on what we get here. But again, weather should be good for this now. I believe the weather's going to be good. And what's weird and what we don't usually get is we're able to actually use the second games as well in the main slate. Normally, you only get 1 game. So looking at this, that's where I would go. I think my top stack probably would be St. Louis in this one, followed by Kansas City, followed by Minnesota, and then followed by the White Sox for the early slate. Then we get into this turbo, the other one's early slate. This is just early slate. Now, it's about 20 minutes, like I said, before the first pitch of the main slate, and we do have weather concerns in Baltimore and Detroit is what is kind of stinks here. So we're still going to cover it. We're going to look at it. So Corbin Burns, obviously, Dean Kramer shit the bed yesterday. There's no other way around it. Corbin Burns, we did take him against Seattle, and he gave up 2 earned runs. They lost the game 7-3. He only had 6 strikeouts against a team that strikes out the most, which I will say we will have pitches be crazy towards the end of this video as well, which is the top 5 pitchers against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most for the season. So we look at this. Corbin Burns is expensive. They dropped him a little bit to 9,000. The Cubs put up some runs yesterday. He's a better pitcher than Dean Kramer. This is true. Having not faced the Cubs this year, pitching at home, he does have a better ERA, 193. I do not mind him, but the Cubs scare me a little bit sometimes. That's what's wild. And the weather's a little bit of concern, so I am scared about that too. Then we got Amanaga. We know his thing. He was very good, then he slipped up a little bit. Pitching on the road, he's actually been better at a 288, but Baltimore is a very good hitting team that they can hit very, very well when they want. Amanaga at 8,700. For tournaments, I do not mind, but you can see 19.3, then 9.3, then minus 14.5, 26.8. He's got some really good games, then he's got some really bad games. So if I were to take Baltimore bats here against Amanaga, just the bats that dominate left-handed pitching here, Adley Rutschman, 110 at-bats, batting 400 with 7 bombs against lefties. Now, this is what I'm telling you. These are the bats that I would use in these. We are giving you stats. So if you think horrible picks, we are going through their stats against left-handed pitching, left-handed batting. We got the batters. We got the pitchers. We're doing that. I don't know. Pin of shame. Let's not be a pin of shame, guys. Gunnar Henderson batting 252 with 5 bombs. It'd be a lefty-on-lefty matchup. But again, if you were stacking Baltimore today, I think Gunnar's got to be in there as well. Ryan Mountcastle batting 290 with 4 bombs against left-handed pitching. Austin Hayes, only 55 at-bats against lefties, but a 364 batting average. And Anthony Santander being a switch hitter, I think he is better against lefties. He's got 6 bombs, batting 244. Those would be the Baltimore bats that I would look at there. Then we move on to the Cleveland Guardians versus Detroit. Now, we do have weather concern, and there were, I think, 15 runs in this game. They went up early. Cleveland went up early, and it's all the usual suspects that we like to use. when we go with the Guardians. But we do have Reese Olson going in. Yeah, splits-wise, he's already faced Cleveland once this year, went 6 innings, only 1 earned run. Cleveland's hitting very well. Tournaments I'm okay with because he has had success, but I'd probably rather look at the Cleveland bats here. And no one's hit a home run against him, but I'm still looking at Josh Naylor had a big game yesterday. Jose Ramirez didn't have a home run, but had a couple of stolen bases. He would be in there as well, always a stolen base threat for me. Joaquin Noel, batting .300 against right-handed pitching, 20 at-bats. Didn't do anything yesterday, but he would be a cheap option if you're trying to build a Cleveland stack here as well. I would look at Andres Gimenez. I believe he had a home run yesterday as well, if I'm not mistaken. So those would be the Cleveland bats that I would look at. Then we look at Tanner Bibby. Splits-wise, he's already faced them before, only lasted 4 innings, 4 earned runs, which is wild to me. You wouldn't really think that. No one's hit a home run against him, but he just gave up those runs. So if we look at bats that have success against right-handed pitching, Colt Keith needs to be in these lineups. He's one of the mainstays if you are stacking Detroit this year. He's got to be in there. Gio Urshela, batting .287 against righties with 164 at-bats with 3 bombs. You got Riley Green batting .284 with 13 bombs. Those would be the bats that I would dig around. Dig a moat around them, throw a couple other people in there. Those would be the bats. Bibby for tournaments, again, I don't mind. Weather is a concern for the first 2 games. I like the Guardians as a stack a little bit more, but I do not sleep on a Detroit Tigers stack today. Then the next game, Seattle at San Diego. We've got Michael King versus Bryce Miller. So Bryce Miller comes in, 3.85 ERA, has not faced San Diego this year. This is in San Diego, which is a pitcher's park. We've got Bryce Miller on the road, has a 6.28 ERA, which that's a pretty damn high ERA on the road against a San Diego team. He looks like Morgan Wallen. If you don't know what Morgan Wallen looks like, take a picture. Tell me he does not look like Morgan Wallen. I'm probably not using Bryce Miller. Now again, this is where I'll tell you we are different than other DFS providers. I will let you know when I'm wrong, okay? We were right about Chris Sale yesterday, all right? If I'm wrong about any of these guys, call me out, but do it respectfully. Don't say horrible picks. But we look at this. Michael King actually has a great matchup here because Seattle strikes out the most out of any team this year. Splits-wise, the problem is at home he has been bad, 464. I don't know if I'm going to use him in DFS yet. We'll have to run simulations, stuff like that. They are running in the background right now. But I look at this and I think for pitches be crazy on FanDuel, I will use him. He's got the best matchup here. And there have been games where 5, 6, 8, 6, he had 12 strikeouts against Oakland, who are the second worst against strikeouts. So he's got some great stuff. Maybe tournaments for DFS, but I will have him in the pitches be crazy, or I will look at, he will be one of my prop bets on the website. And then the final game, Yankees at Tampa Bay. Yankees are reeling. I don't know what's going on. They've lost 16 of their last 23. They have not won back-to-back games, I don't think, since the Kansas City series in over a month almost. As a fan, it's been terrible. I don't know what to do. I don't know what they could do. The pitching has been giving up runs. If they give up 3 or 4 runs, they can't claw back from it. Whatever. I don't know if they're playing out of their means. The first 60 games were wild. I do not know. I think they need this all-star break to rest, which comes this weekend after this weekend. So we have Marcus Stroman, and then we have Zach Eflin. Now we look at Zach Eflin, and we see that he comes with a 4.19 ERA. At home, he's got 2.43. He's already faced the Yankees once this year. 6 innings, no earned runs. That happened back on... And they won 2-0 on April 20th. His strikeouts in the games, 3, 6, 6, 7. Would not surprise me if he strikes out this Yankees team 8 times. Pepio, we used Pepio yesterday, and that's what he did. He was striking out people. So we look at this game and kind of just... We know the Yankees can hit when they can hit. I mean, Judge and Soto can hit. Everyone else has been struggling lately. Ben Rice is another one. Ben Rice had yet another home run yesterday. Still cheaper than he should be. He makes some sense. Any batters who've had success against Zach Eflin for the Yankees, if I'm taking a stack, if I'm using stacks, it's obviously Soto and Judge. Oswaldo Cabrera batting in 2 for 4 with a home run. You got DJ LeMahieu batting 4 for 10 with a home run, but he's been kind of bad. Juan Soto's got 2 bombs and 10 RBIs, batting 464 in 20 at bats against Eflin. Like, those are great numbers. Verdugo, 286 with 1 home run. Like, those are the bats that you would look at. Verdugo has been struggling. I would not be surprised to take Eflin for a prop bet of like over 5.5 strikeouts. Would not surprise me if that hits. Stroman's up and down, 3.67 ERA, so it's a respectable ERA. For whatever reason, at home he pitches worse. On the road, he pitches better. He's had 2 starts, one at home, and then 1 at Toronto. Did only give up 3 earned runs, but they pulled him after 4.1 because they were up so big against Toronto. And then he had a bad game here at Boston, at Kansas City, versus Minnesota. Up and down. Tampa Bay, he has not faced them this year. If his stuff is on, he's electric. But if it's off, he's getting hit, just like every other pitcher for the Yankees right now. So I would still look at Stroman for tournaments at 7,400. I would look at Eflin at tournaments for 7,000 because he is so cheap and they can strike out. So the only pitchers I'm not using here in this slate here is probably Miller and Reese Olson. The other ones are game, and the other bats are okay. The problem is there's a ton of rain, so definitely pay attention, because if this right here, if these 2 games get postponed like yesterday, I would fade this early slate here. Then that brings us to our main slate. We've got 6 games. We've got, 10 games? 10-game main slate that we can talk about real quick. Weather concerns, as of now, we should be good to go. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen. Looks like the weather's going to hold up. Obviously, anything can change a little bit, but we look through that, and I'm okay. So, we've got from Logan Webb all the way down to Kyle Freeland. You know what? We could change it up a little bit. Just because of the pitching options here, I'm not using Freeland. I am looking at Cincinnati as a stack. They're probably my favorite stack here. Ballpark factors, and I forgot to mention, there are a ton of ballpark factors today. There is a ton of wind blowing out to a lot of stadiums. Chicago at Baltimore, if the rain stays off, 30% chance of home runs. This game, Colorado at Cincinnati, blowing straight out to left, 39% chance of home runs. The Dodgers at Phillies, 28%. Minnesota at Chicago, both of them, 21%. Citi Field between Washington and New York, 31%. If you want to see the ballpark rankings, you want to see all of the stats and all of the charts, we put those into the Discord. So go check it out in the link down below. You can check that out. So we don't have to cover everything right here. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not using Freeland. I'm not using Patrick Corbin. I love a Cincinnati stack here, especially with the way the wind is blowing out. Like, that is my top, probably my top stack of the day. And we can look at it real quick. The bats that I would use. Seeing if anyone has had success against Freeland. So Tyler Stevenson, we usually love to take Tyler Stevenson against a lefty here. He's 1 for 3 with a home run. Austin Slater, who just got, I believe they just signed him recently, got 1 home run, batting 259. Spencer Steer has a home run. But the bats that I would use, I'm using a Cincy stack. I'm using Tyler Stevenson. I'm using Spencer Steer. I'm using Ellie De La Cruz. I want me some Candelario. And a couple others. I would use Noelvi Marte and Jonathan India to complete my stack there. Now, Frankie Montas against Colorado. He's already faced him once, went 7 innings in that game, had 9 strikeouts. For tournaments, I don't mind him. And I believe that was in Colorado. Yeah, that was in Colorado. And you look at his splits, he's a little bit better at home. I'm definitely looking at Montas for tournaments. I don't want Freeland. I want Cincinnati bats there. Then the next one, Severino versus Corbin. I want Severino here. I know he did just get, believe he just got lit up on, against the Pirates. 7 earned runs there. Maybe coming back down to earth a little bit, did dominate the Cubs, but we know he's got great stuff, and he's going up against Washington. Already faced them once this year, lasted 8 innings, only got 4 strikeouts. I could see this going up a little bit more. This is a pitcher's park. I do like Sevy here, and I do like the Mets against Patrick Corbin. I do not trust Patrick Corbin whatsoever. We look at him, 5.49 ERA. The Mets, he already faced them once this year, 5.1 innings, 6 earned runs. That's why I want nothing to do with him. Luis Torrens, if he's in there, he's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. Okay? Pete Alonso, batting .326 with 5 bombs against Patrick Corbin. Francisco Lindor, batting .316 with 3 bombs. Harrison Bader has a home run. Brandon Nimmo has a home run. Francisco Alvarez has a home run. There are a ton of home runs. Those are all of the bats that I would use. Pete Alonso is my number 1. Francisco Lindor is my number 2. Depending on who's in there. Harrison Bader against a lefty, I do not mind him whatsoever. Mark Vientos is another one that I would use in this game. Then we've got Martin Perez versus Tobias Myers. We know he's already faced him once this year. 5 innings, 9 earned runs. I'm going back to the well with that one. You know that we love to take, or if you've been with us before, we love to take Milwaukee bats against left-handed pitching. Now, he's already gotten lit up once this season against them. Why not again? Who would I be looking at? I'd be looking at William Contreras, Rhys Hoskins. Those are my top 2. Jackson Chourio has a home run against him. He would definitely be one that I'd look at as well. I do like Bryce Terang here. I would definitely look at Bryce Terang. If we're a couple of other ones, Christian Yelich is batting .317 against lefties. He's a lefty-on-lefty matchup there. I do not mind him. If you need another one to finish off, maybe we look at Blake Perkins if he's in there. But I don't want anything to do with Martin Perez. I do want Milwaukee bats 100%. So the other ones, Boston versus J.P. Sears. I don't want J.P. Sears. He does have the 3rd best matchup for strikeouts though this year, or this game today. But when he's on the road, he's got a 4.82 ERA. Boston bats would be the way I would go here. We saw them put up double digits yesterday against Joey Estes. I think they could. I'm not going to say they're going to put up double digits here, but they can go back to the well here as well. So just looking at this, Boston bats against Sears. Devers, I would definitely look at. David Hamilton, I would look at. Gonzalez, I would look at. And Connor Wong, I would look at. Connor Wong against left-handed pitching this year, batting .333 with 3 bombs. I would definitely look at them. I do not trust the pitching there. Now, we do have a big game, LA versus Philly. We saw Philly dominate yesterday against Bobby Miller. And we see Gavin Stone, 9,300. The problem is the weather. The wind is blowing directly out. I think we go back to the well. I think there could be. You do have Christopher Sanchez. Comes with a 2.96 ERA. At home, he's got a 1.35. I think we got to take Philly again. Both Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber came back yesterday. I think that's kind of. I do not trust the pitching. I do not trust basically the Dodgers pitching right now. Overall, they really haven't done a ton. If we look at Dodgers, if you think Christopher Sanchez is not going to have a good game and you want to look at the Dodgers bats against lefties, Will Smith has been absolutely on fire right now. He would definitely be my number 1. 6 home runs, batting .325. Ohtani obviously has got to be in your lineup. Freddie Freeman against lefties, I don't mind. But if we take a Dodgers stack, Teoscar Hernandez is a lefty killer that we always like to take. Against lefties this year, 284 with 8 bombs. Those would be the bats that I would look at for the Dodgers. But I think I like the Phillies just a little bit more today. Obviously, Schwarber, Harper, my top 2, they are very expensive, but they got to be in there. Trey Turner batting .345 against right-handed pitching with 5 bombs. I would also take Bryson Stott. And to finish off a 5-man stack, Brandon Marsh against right-handed pitching, batting .297 with 8 bombs on the year. That is definitely one that I'd look at. So we've covered those 4. Then we got the second game of the Kansas City and Cardinals here. Now, this is my only problem. To break it down, I like the same bats that we talked about, but being a doubleheader, I don't know if they're going to be in there. That's the problem. I really don't want Michael Wacha. Comes in. I mean, it is his former team. I think he just faced one. Yeah, his last time he faced one of his former teams. Went off there. Michael Wacha going against one of his former teams. Tournaments, I'm okay with. I don't love him in cash, though. And then St. Louis, we do have... Where's St. Louis? Do they not have their pitcher here? Oh, they don't have their pitcher here. Last I knew, it was supposed to be Sonny Gray today. It should be Sonny Gray. But again, we don't know yet. We're waiting on that. Maybe they push Sonny Gray back because of the doubleheader getting pushed back. So it's definitely something to look at. So we can't really cover it. But again, same Kansas City bats that we talked about. If it is Sonny Gray or if it's a bullpen day, I love those bats even more. Then you got Miami at Houston. So we got Framber Valdez, who we really haven't used that much this year. And then versus Brian Hoeing. Now, Brian Hoeing, 1.99 ERA. We used him his last start. He didn't do much. The problem is, or we didn't use him his last start because he doesn't go deep into games. Did have 3 innings, 4 Ks, which is great. 9.2 is okay. But his price went from 8,100 down to 6,000 because he was going to be a starter, but then he only went 3 innings. He only went 46 pitches. I don't know if he's going to, I don't know if there's any concern. But yeah, I don't want him because he's not going to go deep into games, so we cannot trust him enough. So we need to look at the bats, and the Houston bats are where I would look at for sure right now. Houston bats against right-handed pitching. Yainer Diaz batting 283 with 5 bombs. You got Altuve batting 300 with 10 bombs. You've got, obviously, if Alvarez is in there, he's got 14 bombs. He is better against lefties, though. And then a cheaper option would be John Singleton, batting 258 with 6 bombs. I want nothing to do with Hoeing. And then we do look at Framber Valdez. We did not use him his last start. He's got a 4.14 ERA. 12.9 is not enough. He did give up 3 earned runs against Toronto. I thought he'd give up more, but we were actually right not using him at 7,500. They have bumped his price up to 8,300. He does have a softer matchup here against Miami, but again, I mean, there's not a ton, if I were to use, and I'm not saying I'm going to, but if I were to use Miami bats, Josh Bell would be number 1, Brian De La Cruz would be 2, Chisholm would be 3. That might be it. I don't like the Miami Marlins here much at all. Valdez for tournaments, I'm okay with. I don't love his price, especially with a 4.14 ERA. I could see a Miami stack being sneaky today. We've already covered the Pittsburgh at Milwaukee because we don't want anything to do with that. So now we got Texas at the Angels. We've got Michael Lorenzen. Michael Lorenzen coming in, 3.21 ERA splits-wise. He's already faced him once this year, lost that game, 6.1 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts were there. The Angels can hit. Lorenzen for tournaments, I'm okay with. I don't love him today. The Angels are one of those teams where when people think they're down, they're never down. Like, they are down in the standings and they are down in the runs, but they can put up runs, fantasy points they can put up. So you've got that, and then the Angels are out here pitching Griffin Canning. 4.9, almost a 5 ERA, has not faced Texas this year. I'm probably fading the pitching in this one and going straight bats, 100%. Nate Lowe, only batting 1. I think he's 1 for 9 or 1 for 9 against Canning, but has got a home run. Marcus Semien batting 250 with 2 bombs. Adolis Garcia batting 333 against him with 2 bombs. Robbie Grossman batting 429 with 1 bomb. Those would be ones I'd look at. I'd also look at Wyatt Langford. I'd also look at Jonah Heim if he's in there. Now, Angels bats against Lorenzen. No one's hit a home run, but against right-handed pitching, Logan O'Hoppe had 2 home runs yesterday, I believe. Dominating. I would take Logan O'Hoppe. Willie Calhoun's a cheaper option. I would take Willie Calhoun if I'm stacking here. I would also take Nolan Schanuel, batting 257 with 7 bombs against right-handed pitching. And Mickey Moniak would be a cheap option for me. Only batting 202, but has 4 bombs against right-handed pitching. I'm giving Texas the bigger stack here, but the Angels are a stack that I don't mind either. So, that being said, the keyword of the day is hump for hump day. It is hump. It's also one of the reasons I'm having a kid in 8 days. Boom. Okay, Atlanta at Arizona is next. We've got Charlie Morton. So everything got pushed back. So when I did yesterday's video, Charlie Morton was in there. But then as soon as I uploaded the video and got it through, then the other game, Chris Sale was pushed back. And now Charlie Morton was pushed back. So it's kind of the same thing that we talked about. Charlie Morton for tournaments, I'm okay with, but he's not a sexy name. Arizona can hit when they want. They just haven't been lately. So you've got Charlie Morton here, and then we've got Slade Cecconi. Now, Cecconi's got a 6.10 ERA, has not faced Atlanta this year. Game log coming off a terrible, and we stacked San Diego against him in that game on Friday. 5 earned runs. We counted our bacon there. They've dropped him a little bit. He's going up against Atlanta. I don't trust him at all. He's never faced Atlanta, or he's faced Eddie Rosario 2 at-bats. Eddie Rosario just got traded back to Atlanta. I mean, it seems like every year he's going to go back. But the bats that I would look at, Marcell Ozuna's got 18 bombs against right-handed pitching. Sean Murphy's got 4 home runs, batting .261. Jared Kellenick's got 9 bombs against right-handed. Eddie Rosario would be a cheap option if he's in there. He has 7 home runs against right-handed pitching. Austin Riley batting .276 with 9 home runs. I think today Atlanta makes a lot of sense for a top stack. There might be different ways with this stack. I think we might want to look at different pitching, probably out of this game, but I think we want to look at the Braves, multiple different stacks for them. I love them today. I don't want anything to do with the pitching. Bats against Charlie Morton. Ketel Marte would be one that I'd look at. Randall Grichuk, Christian Walker. That might be it. I don't love a huge Arizona stack today. Then the final game, we've got Chris Bassitt versus Logan Webb. It's a ballpark. It is a ballpark. It is a pitcher's ballpark, I should say. It's in San Francisco. We love to take pitchers in this ballpark because it's a massive ballpark. Let's see what the wind is doing today. The wind is blowing out, but it's blowing out to the largest part of the stadium. So a lot of fly balls today. I would not be surprised. So we look at that. Logan Webb is number 1. And then we've got Chris Bassitt down here. Chris Bassitt, 3.43 ERA, not having faced San Francisco this year. Coming off a bad game against Houston, a good game against the Yankees, a middle game against Boston both times. Really depends on which Bassitt we're going to get. Loves to get the ground balls. You can see he had 10 ground balls against Boston. San Francisco against right-handed pitching, not huge. I don't mind Bassitt for tournaments. Logan Webb coming in, 3.09 ERA. At home's got a better ERA at home. Game logs coming off some pretty good games here. I do not mind him against Toronto because Toronto against right-handed pitching, they haven't been too bad. Actually, they do hit right-handed pitching well. Webb for tournaments okay, but at that $9,800 price, a sneaky stack might be Toronto today. Now, I could be wrong, and I'll let you know if I'm wrong, but Alejandro Kirk, batting .231 with 2 bombs. I don't know if I'd use him, but I would use Vladdy, batting .295 against righties with 10 bombs. Ernie Clement, I would use, be cheap option. Davis Schneider's got 7 bombs. George Springer's got 7 bombs. Spencer Horwitz has 3 bombs. I don't mind them. I think a lot of people are going to be on Logan Webb. I think if you want to get advantage on the field, take Toronto as a stack there. And there you have it. That is every game that we've looked at. The pitchers that I would use Pivetta against Oakland. He's in the top 5 for pitches be crazy. Webb for tournaments, Pivetta I would use. Gavin Stone I'm not using. Sanchez scares me because the wind is blowing directly out and the Dodgers can hit lefties. Probably avoiding those 2. Morton for tournaments, but I don't love. Bassitt for tournaments, I don't mind. Probably not using Valdez. I'm probably not using Lorenzen. Tobias Myers, I'm probably off of. Walk, I'm off of. Severino, I do like in this matchup. Montas, I'm using. Canning, I'm stacking against Canning. Sears, I'm stacking Boston against Sears. I'm stacking Atlanta against Cecconi. I don't want Brian Hoeing. Even if he has a good game, he's not going deep into games. Love me a Milwaukee stack. Love me a Mets stack. And love me a Cincinnati stack on this main slate. There you have it. That is the breakdown. Now it is time for the one, the only, Pitches Be Crazy. The number 1 pitcher today for Pitches Be Crazy, Michael King versus Seattle. Seattle strikes out 10.33 times per game. 12 in their last 3, 11 in their last game, and at home, or on the road, they strike out 10.13 times. Number 2, Nick Pivetta versus Oakland. Oakland strikes out 9.7 times per game, 11.33 over their last 3, 15 over their last 1, and 8.96 or 10.4. So they're way worse on the road. It's 8.96 at home, but they are in Boston. They're striking out 10.46 on the road. So Michael King, Nick Pivetta. Number 3 is JP Sears versus Boston. I want nothing to do with JP Sears in DFS, but Boston strikes out 9.62 times per game, 12 over their last 3, 10 over their last game, and at home 9.25. Number 4 is Frankie Montas versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 9.45 times per game, 10 over their last 3, 11 over their last 1, and Colorado on the road striking out 9.96 times per game. Finally, Tobias Myers versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, 9.33 times per game. The last couple of games, 7.33 over their last 3, 7 over their last game. But on the road, Pittsburgh strikes out 10.09 times per game. So to summarize these 5. Number 1 is King. 2 is Pivetta. 3 is JP Sears. 4 is Frankie Montas. And 5 is Tobias Myers. Now, these aren't the only pitchers, but these are the stats against the team that are out. By out, I mean they strike out the most. Not always going to, you've got those power arms that can strike out multiple bats as well. So take that with a grain of salt, but I wanted to give you guys that. Now, we are going to give you the top 10 bats after 10,000 simulations. I did see a comment, was it yesterday or the day before that, saying it was very confusing. It said that the top 10 after simulations didn't matter or something. I don't know. It was really weird. If you said it, let me know what you meant by that. But number 1, Jarren Duran. Number 2 is Lindor. 3 is Rob Refsnyder. 4 is Brandon Nimmo. 5, Ellie De La Cruz. 6, Tyler O'Neill. 7 is Gunnar Henderson. 8 is Adley Rutschman. 9 is JD Martinez. And 10 is Shohei Ohtani. Now, if you guys want to see all the stacks that we like, you want to see all the plays that we like, we have a player pool of usually about, I think there's 7 at each position for cash, and then like 14. So we got about 28 different outfielders, 14 for cash and 14 for tournaments, and then like 5 to 7 at each position the other way. We've got a ton of great content. $10 a week, $30 a month, $200 a year, $500 for a lifetime. But all of the 10 out of 10 matchups today, so far after 10,000 simulations. Jarren Duran's number 1. 2 is Lindor. 3 is Refsnyder. 4 is Brandon Nimmo. 5 is JD Martinez. 6 is Jonathan India. 7 is Jose Ramirez. 8, Corey Seager. 9, Juan Soto. 10, Alex Bregman. 11 is Gabriel Moreno. 12, Rhys Hoskins. 13, Anthony Rendon. He's probably going to get hurt. And 14, and finally, Michael Massey for the Kansas City Royals. So there you have it. That is the day done. Video done. Hopefully you guys use it. Hopefully you guys had success. Let me know how you did yesterday. Good luck on this hump day. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!